You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. I did notice on your social media today that you had an opportunity to go visit with Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Can you give us any kind of an update? I know information's been hard to get and justifiably so, but just anything.
Yeah, I don't. It's like I don't necessarily know. What the family wants to be said. I think the thing I will say is he's a fighter. He's already doing his best through his therapies and what they can do with him there to try to progress and do certain things. He was able to stand today, which is a very big deal. But obviously still tired, still dealing with a lot of what that sort of traumatic and invasive surgery can do to a person. And I would say, like, for me, the hardest part was, I coached Greg along with Derek Stingley and Jordan and a lot of those kids when they were in high school. And to see somebody that's always so energetic, always so vibrant. I mean, to see a kid who had, basically an afro, to have all of his hair gone, to have tubes, everywhere, to at the time when I got to see him, because he was so tired, wasn't even opening his eyes or, couldn't really even squeeze a hand at the time, and then talk to his mother. I went to high school with his father, actually. I grew up with him. We played bitty basketball together. We played park ball against one another. I'm really close with his grandmother as well. Just to see how much pain they're in, to see how much they care about their baby, man. I think it was heartbreaking, truly. But Greg's a fighter, bro. I would say just everybody keep them and him in your prayers, and just know, like, I'm just being honest, football is very far off. So for the media members, I think I saw something from Coach Kelly that were asking about him being able to play. I'm not a doctor, bro. I'm not. Yeah. But I've been in that position. I've been extremely ill. I've been in the hospital dealing and fighting for my life. Like, football is not the thing. Right now it's about this kid's life. It's about Greg getting an opportunity to live normally, which we don't know if that is in the cards for him going forward. And so, man, just remember, too, when you talk about this kid was sick for a while. And he was dealing with this, and it was diagnosed as what it was diagnosed. He played 65 plays for the LSU Tigers against the Florida State Seminoles with this tumor, with that fluid on his spine. And I know there are, like, a lot of people that we consider heroes of our school. Joe Burrow will always be a hero. Tyrann Matthew, like those sorts of people. This kid, man, is the greatest Tiger of all. To know what he did, what he was going through, what his mom told me he was going through daily in order to get on the field, and what he was trying to communicate, bro. Like, it is heartbreaking for me to have seen him the way I did today, and to know what he was going through, and that he still went out on that field and put on purple and gold for us. I think that's a big deal.
Hey, man, thank you for your willingness to share. I know that's, I mean, it's just there's football and then there's real life, right? So, I mean, you didn't have to say much, but you did, and I do appreciate it. I know a lot of people do, because there's a lot of concern for the young man. So, I think whatever information, whatever tidbits people can get, I know are appreciated. So, excuse me. So, it's always so clumsy to try to transition from something serious to something that just is mundane and all. So I'll just move. But like, they're going to play Arkansas this weekend, and it's a different kind of challenge from last week. But let me start with what went so well defensively against Mississippi State. What did you see?
It's crazy. I tweeted about 1-4 during the game, right? I just think, he comes over from Marshall. I don't know much about him. He's going to McNeese, transfer. The kid, man, truly jumped off of the screen to me. I thought the way he played, the intensity in which he pursued the ball was huge for LSU. I also think now moving Harold and allowing him to rush and be a part of affecting the quarterback in that way. And also, I felt the coverage on the back end was really good. And this was, I didn't watch Grambling, so I would be lying to say I did. Mm-hmm. But I thought rush and coverage were tied in together really well. And I thought this was the game that they were the most creative with their most impactful players, which I think is something they have to continue to do going down the stretch. And I mentioned, one for a reason as well. I met him today in the hospital. The first time I've ever seen the kid or ever talked to the kid. Just a bright, awesome young man. And, he was there to see his friend. And I know I'm going back to a story that probably doesn't matter, but he said that Greg was the first one to embrace him and tell him that LSU was the place for him. Man. And so, all those things tie in to why you have great football teams, you have great locker rooms, and you get very good players to come and be a part of your team and contribute like that young man did this weekend.
That's awesome. Because Andre Sam, who and what a obvious position of great need right now for LSU as well. Another Louisiana guy getting to play for the Tigers. So and Ryan Clark's with us, of course. Man, you see him. NFL Live, of course, Sports Center, the Pivot Podcast. You see him everywhere. Last thing for you. So this weekend, a very different challenge with KJ Jefferson in Arkansas. Do you think LSU is built to be able to defend Arkansas, where they do have this really big physical running quarterback and a couple of good running backs as well?
Isn't it funny that the reason people like KJ can play quarterback is because of Arkansas, Matt. And I know people, and maybe this is just me, and you can tell me, I say stupid things sometimes, but
okay.
But isn't the Wildcat the reason zone read became a thing?
You know what? It was the Wildcat was the Darren McFadden package.
Yes.
At Arkansas in 05, 06, 07, and there, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so that's what started to make you feel like, if we can get a quarterback that can do some of this, or if we can start doing some of this with our quarterback, and now we got a guy that can also throw the football, imagine the predicament that puts the defense in. And so it's kind of full circle that's the way they play football now. And I do believe that LSU can defend it, because I think the difference is, in the middle, I believe we're strong. When you think about who we are in the interior of the defensive line, you have linebackers that can not only rush the passer, as you see with Harold Perkins, but what's the freshman's name? Help me out, Matt. Kid 40.
Whit Weeks.
Yeah, and so now you have backers who are now showing you that they can tackle in space, get people on the ground, because what happens is when you play these sorts of teams, they make you play assignment football. And what I mean by assignment football is if someone's on the dive, you have to take the dive. If you're the guy that's assigned to the quarterback, you have to scrape and get to the quarterback. But a lot of times it leaves you there, at least until pursuit, to make plays alone in space. And I think we've shown that we can do that over the last 2 weeks, and continuing to do that and being able to be physical enough up front against a team like this is what you have to do in order to defend a running quarterback and a powerful run game.
He is Ryan Clark on Twitter at RealRClark25. You know where to find all of Ryan's stuff. Of course, latest episode of The Pivot is dropped as well. Desi Banks? Is it dropped today?
Desi Banks, man. Yeah, so what we're trying to do, by the way, Matt,
okay,
we have Maurice Clarett next week, bro.
No, you already recorded it?
We recorded it. Maurice Clarett tells a story. I'm just being honest with you. He tells a story that if he had not already gone to jail, he would go to jail for it.
What a tease. Look at you, media guy. That's a hell
of a... Hey, man, I only got 6 shows.
Wait, what?
I said I'm only doing 6 shows right now.
Well, and still you find 10 minutes for us on a Thursday, and so we're always very appreciative of your time. So I'll let you bounce. Man, we always appreciate you as well. Man, we'll see you next week, and we'll look forward to it, RC. Thank you.
Oh, man. Have a great one, brother.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.